This is the phone box outside the Hotel Honecker, which you had to use because there wasn't one inside the hotel. The silver car in the middle is the one which I hired whilst on the Big Island. And here, as the caption says, is the inside of my bedroom where I stayed for that one single night. Now doing a 360-degree view of the room so you can see it all, including the lovely toilet with the pink seat, little wash basin in the corner, showing you what it's like to walk along the corridor of the Hotel Honecker. And as we peer out of the window, we can see the lush green vegetation. This is caused by the high amount of rainfall that falls on this side of the island due to it being in the windward side of the Mount Keir, which is a 13,800 feet high volcano. A little garden inside of the hotel. After leaving Honecker, I moved on down the coastline to Hilo, where I stayed at Arnott's Lodge. Showing the inside of the lodge, and as you can see, it's very spacious as I give you a guided tour. Walking along the corridor, and now peering into the bedroom with the double bed with the crumpled bedclothes, indicating the lack of bed making skills by the occupier. Moving into the kitchen, showing it was a very big kitchen with all the facilities that you might need during your stay. Looking out the window, and now going out onto the balcony, where you can see the lush green vegetation caused by the high amount of rainfall on this side of the island. In Hilo, it rains for an average of 278 days of the year. And there's my hire car, the one on the right in the picture. As we now zoom in on this 3D map of Hawaii, the reason for staying at Arnott's Lodge in Hilo was so I could go on their tour of the Hawaiian National Volcanoes Park. We first visited the Halemaumau crater, highlighted on the map. Next, it was down the Chain of Craters Road to the coastline, where we stopped, and then we started a hike to see the lava coming from the Pui-o vent.
You told me it was.
A stampede. Over there tells all about
This crater was first discovered in 1823. Then it was a boiling lake of lava that alternatively rose and fell, overflowing its banks and then receding. However, in 1924 there was an extreme explosion that blew up the lava lake, and since then the lava has ceased to appear and you see what you see now. Looking at this cross-section of the area, you can see the Halemaumau crater on the left of the diagram, and the lava used to flow up into this crater, but now it flows underneath the ground and now comes out at the Pui-o vent. Lava tubes are formed when the outer crust of a river of lava starts to harden, but the liquid lava beneath the surface continues to flow on through. After the lava has drained out, the hard shell remains. This is a grand example. It's tunnel-like and almost big enough to run a train through. We stopped here to start our hike to the lava flows. As you can see, when the lava dries, it turns a very dark black colour. Lava coming out of the Pui-o vent flows down the slopes and eventually into the sea. Where it hits the sea, steam forms because the lava suddenly cools. You can see it there in the distance. You can see some of my fellow hikers on this tour as we walk across the black lava to the live lava.
Snap, crackle, pop.
And there it is, our first sighting of live lava.
That whole top could pop off. Sometimes with things like this, you just have to sit and be patient. Well, it's not too bad up here.
Our guide, Ian, told us to put our 1-cent coins into the lava, as demonstrated here, by poking them in with a stick. The copper contained within the coin, when it heats up, melts and then gives off green smoke, as seen in the clip here. The lava, although it has cooled considerably at this point, is still very hot, as shown in this next clip, where our German tourist friend gets his legs nearly burnt.
Burnt my hell. Oh yeah.
So you want me to take a picture or what?
Yeah.
You gotta look at me.
Yeah. Whoa.
As you'll see in the next few minutes, he liked to play with the lava a lot. The live lava is a silver colour, and when it cools down it will turn to the black colour. Now let's listen to our guide Ian.
What's that? This is the East Rift Zone. Earlier we saw the Southwest Rift Zone, right? This is all part of the East Rift Zone. And
Look, it's gushing out that one now. Look.
In Hawaiian folklore, Madame Pele is goddess of the volcanoes, and if you are to take any volcanic rocks off the island, bad luck will befall you, or what is known as Madame Pele's curse.
It's so hot. It's so hot that his nipples burn.
there's another. You see that breakout over there?
Yeah.
Hawaiian volcanoes are seldom violent. They produce slow-moving lava, as you've seen in these clips. Zooming in on the hot lava.
We had a guy last week who we lit his cigar with. We scooped up the lava on the stick and then lit his cigar with it. We brought marshmallows, it doesn't work.
Oh, you already.
Doesn't work.
Our German friend, again playing with the lava. Pushing those 1 cent pieces into the lava, again, to get the same effect of the green smoke appearing, once the copper contained within the coin melts. And there you can see the green smoke coming out of the lava.
You got your own bit of lava.
There you can see the lava running quite fast at this point. Most of the lava that runs down to the sea runs underneath the ground in those lava tubes. The lava that we see above ground is cooled considerably, and that's why it's turned silver. On the ground it runs very slowly at 1 to 2 miles an hour, whereas underneath in the lava tubes it runs at 20 to 30 miles an hour and is over 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. And here is our German friend, yet again playing with the lava. One of our tour party was a girl from Quebec in Canada, and here she is pouring water on the lava to show how hot it is.
Hey, hey, hey. Oh! That's very interesting.
Doesn't like it.
And now it's time to say goodbye to the live lava flows. As we walk across the horizon, you can see the heat flames rising from the lava beneath the surface. Before we went back to our vehicle, our guide Ian decided that we should go and explore a lava tube. Since the lava tube had no natural light, I had to switch to infrared, hence the black and white picture and people's eyes looking like cat's eyes. It was very hot in these lava tubes, as you can see by the sweat glistening off other people's backs in the picture. If you listen carefully, you'll hear that we weren't actually supposed to go down these tubes.
So we won't say anything when we see the park rangers at the end today. We won't tell them about this little.
I mean, I'm happy to do this.
I don't know. The park rangers are very picky about what they let you do and what they don't let you do.
Did you hear our guide telling us not to tell anything to the park rangers? Because we shouldn't have been down there. But Ian, our guide, was such an adventurer that he couldn't help but explore this tube when he saw it. There he is with a torch in the middle. Ian climbing out of the lava tube at the end. And there ends the day in the National Volcanoes Park. As was mentioned earlier in the footage, it rains a lot on this side of the island near Hilo, 278 days of the year, and the consequence of this is that contained within the green, lush vegetation is a lot of waterfalls. Rainbow Falls is just outside of Hilo. A short drive from Hilo up the coastline in the direction of Honoka, there is a 4-mile stretch of road called Scenic Drive. From looking at this footage, you can obviously see why it's called Scenic Drive. Further up the coastline from Hilo is the Akaka Falls State Park. which contains two waterfalls, the first of which is the Kahuna Falls, which is a 100-foot high waterfall. It's a nice waterfall, but not as impressive as the other waterfall in the park, from which the park gets its name, this being the Akaka Falls. This waterfall is an amazing 442 feet.